So we're going to talk through and look at examples and talk through how to do some different assessments on your dog. First, we're going to look at some different methods of visual indicators for how your dog's body is feeling. So stuff we can see on the outside, how they hold themselves and how they move themselves. We're going to talk through some different behavioral indicators we could also use to assess how they're feeling. And we're going to go in depth to some different ways that you can do a hands-on assessment with your dog. I've got a graphic for you to figure out what your pathway is once you've done an assessment and you've found some things out. The first thing I do when I'm doing a hands-on muscle assessment, quick stroking all over, and then I feel down the epaxial muscles. So the epaxial muscles are the thicker layers of muscles. It's not one muscle, it's kind of a name for a group of muscles down that cover the vertebrae and either side of the vertebrae, down the neck and down the spine. It's important to note when we're feeling down these muscles, we're feeling for heat, we're feeling for muscle mass, and we're feeling for symmetry. But this area, it's really common that there's twitching. There's two different types of twitching we can get. One is a light reflex twitch. So you know when a fly lands on your dog and their back twitches and they whip around? That's a specific reflex response, and light touch will create this, and this isn't necessarily abnormal or an indication of soreness. However, if we touch with more pressure, or that light touch is accompanied with a pain behavioral response or fur changes, that can indicate pain and or muscle tension in the epaxial muscles. I'm going to take an individual toe. This is Luke, who's a pet dog, so he was a little bit less happy with me. And I'm just going to bend it up and down. So with Luke, he has an issue in his wrist, so I was primarily checking that bending down, that flexion on one paw and comparing it to the other paw. So they're having one foot step off that middle platform to the side, so it's lateral step downs. To start with 2 sets of 5 reps, and then similarly to the other exercises, to increase difficulty, you can increase the number of reps, increase the height in the rear, or you could add instability to the front feet.